How do? How are we all? I'm tired. It's been a long week. How are we all? Hello, Themicals, Captain Roland Darge. Hello, Darge. Ewan Carl Wyborg. Oh, that's me. Themicals, VMX, Rye, Westbrook, Drew. Welcome, welcome all. Engineer, hello, hello. Yeah, what a week! It's been amazing. I'm so stoked at the moment because events are back. We've done our first event. It was an amazing success. We didn't fuck anything up. And yeah, we didn't fuck anything up, and we helped a load of other people out with stuff, which is always what we're doing. We've impressed people and clients, and hopefully may have found ourselves a new little client in Hublot Watches. Potentially want to work with us further and do some more events. So absolutely fantastic. Couldn't have been a better. Oh, my camera's way over there. There we go. Couldn't have been a better start back to events. It really couldn't. But it's been a long week. We set off early week. We're down in London, Hyde Park. So it's kind of 2 hours in, 2 hours out every day in a van. The get-in day was 16.5 hours plus travel. So it was it was a long ass day. But it was very good. Hello, Firemaster. Hey, I recognize that. You will indeed. So this is the event we've just done. It is the Hublot Design Prize. So Hublot Watches, Swiss watchmaker, I think they currently make the most expensive watch in the world at about 5.5 million or something like that. They did bring two or 3 million pounds worth of watches to the event, which is quite nice. But yeah, so they have this design. Hi Blue, Ivan, fuck knows, mate. I'm British, so I should go. It's Hublot. I'm from Hull, so I don't even pronounce it. So Hublot. Either way, not someone I'm wearing a watch of. I don't wear watches anyway. But so it's their design award. There was 8 finalists, so we did these big sort of installation pieces for the artwork to be displayed on, and plinths and all this kind of cool stuff for the 8 finalists. And yeah, and so this is the winner. Mohammed Iman Faraz was the winner of the competition. He got a check, so the check was designed by yours truly, Dargenator, in the chat, as were these layouts. So what you're looking at, ignore the actual artwork. The artwork was really cool, but the actual thing it's attached to is a thing that we made and took down and built and all this sort of stuff. So that's what we should be caring about. So Dargenator did all of the setup for this print. So that huge white thing behind him is one piece of printed Fomex. So he did all the print for that. I will have some more interesting, like from our point of view, more interesting pictures in a moment. So Darge did all that. He also designed the check. And this is not a great picture of the check, but this is Mohammed's check for 100,000 Swiss francs, which could be worth £100,000 or 50p. I'm not sure what the Swiss currency actually does. The background wasn't us. Did you do the background? The background wasn't us, but you may have done the background. So you did a lot of the graphic art for them, which was really cool. I didn't realize you'd done the background because that was not fuck all to do with me. So excellent. Oh, I would have tried to save it for you if I'd known that, because it all got put in a bin. All the canvas stuff. So that backdrop was done on stretch fabric. Because you didn't have to see behind it, so it didn't matter what it looked like behind. That stretch fabric's really good for like really big things you want seamless, but the disadvantage, you've got to wrap it around and staple it to the back or something. So if you want it to be something that you kind of walk all the way around, it's quite a complicated thing to do, which is why our freestanding things were all printed Fomex and stuff. But yeah, that's cool. Didn't realize that. So yes, did you also do the black one, Darge? That the one that they did the people stood in front of to get filmed and things, because that was quite cool as well. But yeah, so it was really cool. Let me see if I can find some other. That's a Carrack. Other pictures of it. like that I took of the actual what we did. Shap Cab, I'm glad you're here. I've got some cool event stories for you. One that you will laugh at, and hopefully everyone else will as well. That was one of the artists that was a health and safety nightmare. It was brilliant, but yeah, we'll get on to that. Do you guys SEG frames over there? What are SEG frames? We may call them something else. Right, so I want Google Pictures. So this was a part way through bit on the screen. So this was part way through point in the build. So this is putting all the bits together. So the main disadvantage. Yes, we do use those, Shap. Yeah. They are useful for some stuff. The issue with that is then you have an aluminium tray. It's cool if they're going into a wall section. This kind of wrapped around the back as well, so you kind of wanted to see the sides all sort of with the canvas as well. So yes, if it is just an encapsulated, because you can light box them as well, which is really nice. But yeah, this one went all the way around, so it was much easier to do it with. And I say you get behind it anyway, so that's cool. So yeah, so these boxes. Don't get me wrong. For JRDF-ness, these are obviously not particularly complicated boxes. The complexity of this is we had to do it in a few days. This was a couple of days build, and they had to look quite sort of high end and neat and nice. I said there were 4 of them, of the big ones, with. That's Callie taking a picture of a leaf or a squirrel or something. So there were 4 walls on a roof and then an end section, but the TVs were mounted on them by an AV company, so we needed to keep access in so they could run cables in it and all this kind of stuff, and then we could seal them all up and get all the trim on and all that kind of stuff. So they were nice. I mean, they worked. At the end of the day, it'll be interesting to see whether the client would like to do something a little bit more complicated in the future. This was AV companies are the worst. I know, the fucking bastards, a lot of them. Interestingly, these were guys who'd done stuff at CitizenCon as well. Pretty much all the companies working on this did CitizenCon 2019 because it was run by LEP who did that events as well, which is why we were there. Because it was just like a mini re-meeting of all CitizenCon people. It was really funny. So yeah, that was Moses in the background there, our crew guy for the day. Moses was awesome. Be taking his details to try and get him again. We didn't get to wear JRDF stuff. We had to wear London Event Production shirts, which I wasn't happy about. I was in my high-vis shorts, though, so that made me happy. It's a really cool venue. It's a magazine restaurant in Hyde Park, which is attached to Serpentine Galleries. And yeah, it's a very cool venue. This was my proudest moment, right? So the shorts, yeah. They should be JRDF branded. We'll get some JRDF branded. So, health and safety nightmare guy. One of the artists was doing. It's quite a cool piece, I guess. I'm not an artist, but his piece of art had 2 issues with it. One, he had little radios that needed power, and he hadn't asked for power before. And we'd already run all the cables and already done all the stuff. But it was a 12-volt power pack and a really long cable. He clearly had done this dance before, so it was fine. So we just ran it with our other cable. But he didn't have a British socket, a plug on the end. It was a European plug. So we said to him, this was like 4 or 5 hours before the event. Right, cool. You have to get a adapter for that. Just normal kind of hotelier type adapter. Cool, fantastic. Got everything you need. Brilliant. And then he opened up this packet that was like a donut-shaped packet. And of course, they're all artists, all like different sculptures and art and all this kind of stuff. And he opened it up and it was a bundle of razor wire. And then he did a sculpture there and then with razor wire till it was a ball about this big, right? And then put it on the floor. and the person in charge of the champagne reception that was going on around this thing was like, I'm not so keen on this from a health and safety point of view. It's like, yeah, we're not over the moon. If we're perfectly honest, I've never really set up, been to an event where anti-personnel, defences are set up in the middle of a champagne cocktail reception. So what they wanted was to find some rope barriers. This was 10 o'clock at night by this point, so it's like, we ain't got any fucking rope barriers. So what we did was created a small plinth. Say health and safety gone mad. With real razor wire as well. It's like, oh my god. Like, anyway, so we made a plinth that matched the rest of the stand, and I'll show you why that works in a second. But this was one of my favorite tail lift builds. So obviously, it was pitch dark by this point. We did this all on the tail lift out of spare parts that we had. And this was the result. So it is now sat on this little mini podium, and although you could still walk across it, your eye naturally realizes that it's part of the display, and therefore you're not going to get cut on it. But without it there, it was just on the floor next to stuff. So definitely that was CitizenCon, yes, just razor wire everywhere. So that was one of my personal highlights of the event. Doing tail lift builds, I always find quite funny. But yeah, so that was that guy. Wow, that's Kelly's parents' house. That's not anything to do with the gig. These boxes behind were all the really expensive watches. Like, they don't make cheap watches, this company. But yeah, so it was a very fun event. We had a lot of fun, and well, this was the thing. People need to bleed for art, including the people coming to judge my art. He didn't win. They should have paid you in a watch, Dodge. Oh, okay. Yeah, you'd have to do a lot of graphic art to earn one of the watches. Yeah, they're expensive things. And then when we came to take the stand apart, we found that the same guy had not gone and got a power adapter. He'd got a pencil, shoved it in the earth pin to open up the gate in the 3-pin socket, and just rammed the European tube in it, and then covered it in gaffer tape. It's like, you bastard. It's like, you are the health and safety man's absolute nightmare. Get out of my building. He was great. Dear. Yes, the Balkan Way, but yeah. Serpentine Gallery, owned by the Royal Parks Authority. They're really strict about stuff. You got to think of your feet. No, absolutely, but he'd been caught doing it, and I'd have slapped him. But anyway, but yeah, so it all went very well. I say we had a good time, and it was good to get back to some physical eventing, even though the things we were making weren't particularly exciting. But it was nice to work with new people and meet some new clients and make them happy, because that's kind of what we do. So that was all cool. As a result of all that, since I last spoke to you, have literally not looked at anything to do with Star Citizen or a Carrack or anything. So, did anything happen in Star Citizen this week? Because I am entirely blissfully unaware of everything, if it's not to do with this event. We literally rocked up a few moments ago. So that is that. Making capacity, yes, I have just done, while the intro was going on, I did put the Carrack Countdown live on the website, because we will be indeed launching it next Sunday. There's no events coming up this week. So the 400 eye grew and then shrank again. What? How did that? Ben! What did Ben Curtis do? Nice. Drew kills and your rescues. Oh, nice. So you've been playing some of the medical gameplay. Nice. I like it. Oh, it's a test fit in the rock. Oh, interesting. It's a nice looking ship. It'll make a good model. It'll be interesting to see how popular it becomes. So Countdown to Carrack, everything is on target for next weekend. Printers are printing away. So we've got all the small parts done. We're just still printing fuselage pieces, so that's cool. So that's going fine. All the artwork's here now. I should have got it out of the van. It's in the van. But all the booklets have arrived now. All the sleeves have arrived now. All of the boxes are lasered. All the foam is lasered. Everything is ready to go. So it is all very exciting. All very exciting. So that's cool. And yeah, I think the only thing left, I need to do a few more of the red screens. So obviously, last weekend we did actually announce that that there was actually 2 Carrack models coming out next weekend, the Carrack and the Carrack Expedition. Of course, the I could use the other camera that I have. The Carrack Expedition requires a red tinted screen. I should have gone and got one of the ones that are already clear coated. So this is without its clear coat on. I put water on it, it'll sort of work for a moment. Oh, not for long at all, but you can kind of see when it's coated, it goes clear. So yeah, so that's one of the red ones for the Carrack Expedition, which is nice. And we also should have some red glass somewhere. 1 second. So the Minty Fizz, not gonna lie, I'm eyeing the Carrack Expedition with mild rabbit interest. Yes, the mics have also arrived, as they arrived while we were away. Ewan Carr and Leonard Rain's fantastic donation of the mics. I still haven't taken the counter down. They have arrived while we were away. I say literally, we have been down in London since the last stream. We left on the Tuesday and got back 15 minutes ago. So they're in a box downstairs. They have arrived. I got a text. I don't know where they are. I got a text to say they had arrived. So yeah, all is dandy. So we'll start playing with those this week. Obviously, the next big thing is moving to a workshop, which is kind of cool. I probably need to work out some racking shelves. One of the other interesting things was we weren't sure what was going to happen to all of this set. So this set from this event that we've just done, we have brought it back with us, and I think what we're going to try and go for with the company's blessing is to actually store it for them, because usually what happens is it gets sent to Switzerland, because the event basically alternates. They do 1 year at the Serpentine Gallery and then another year somewhere in Switzerland. They tend to change the venue because obviously that's where they're based, so they can venue scout a bit easier. The event next year will be in Switzerland. So our hope is that we will store them here. We will prep them for next year's event and then take them out to the event in Switzerland. Because the problem is all the artwork needs redone on them, because there'll be 8 different finalists next year, different information, different artwork on it, all the rest of it. So it'd be easier for us to prep all that at the time rather than them finding another company. And it's like the one set gets passed from like company to company for it to sort of get half done. That's why we had to build them in a rush this year, because when they got them out of storage at the other end in Switzerland to try and send them over, they were fucked up because they were still full of holes from the year before, and they'd done 5 years that particular set, and they were looking very, very tired, which is why they went, check, we need a new set built in the next week. So that's why we ended up doing it. So this set will do a fair few years, although I would like to talk to them about making it a little bit more interesting and kind of being a bit more JRDF-y about it. But even so, I think we'll end up storing it. But obviously, it's quite a big set, so I need to find somewhere in the workshop to put it. So long-term planners will have shipping containers out the back. We've got room for about 4 40-foot shipping containers. But while I'm saving up for those, because realistically I need to, well, I've got room for 4 40-foots and 6 20-foots at the back. So the problem is, to get them round the back, I'm going to have to crane them in. So I'm going to have to get like a 50-tonner crane, because it'll have to go over the building to put them there, because there's no way you can even get a truck or a high ab, downside. Yeah, even though it's only the little bit at the back, there's quite a lot of room. I mean, that's stacked double high, so like two and two on top, and then three and three on top. But yeah, more than enough room for that. But realistically, I have to get a crane to put them there, because there's power lines and a train track and all these things, and you just won't get a rig around the back. So it'll be a case of buying as many as I can at once, because the crane hires $1,000 a day. So it's like, yeah, so I won't just buy one and get it craned in. We'll wait till we can get like 4 of them or 6 of them, and then get them all in together. Also, wait. Well, this is the thing. I don't actually know whether containers are cheap at the moment, because it's like, I know there's a container shortage in China, but presumably that's because we've got them all. In all the countries that they've been delivered to, we've got them. We haven't sent them back because of the shipping issue. So I don't know whether there's no containers or too many containers here at the moment. Obviously, there's no fucking truck drivers to deliver them to you, but other than that, it's all good. But yeah, so all of these things will eventually end up in these containers. But for the time being, we'll put them on pallet racking shelves in the workshop, because we'll need pallet racking shelves anyway. So I need to order some pallet racking shelves sooner than I thought, because otherwise, literally, we're going to fill the workshop with, the brand new workshop is going to get filled with all these different sets that we've pulled out of our old container, and the house and the loft and all this sort of stuff. So, so that's all that. I forgot pictures of our loft, because in the midst of all this, we had to empty our entire loft so that we could have it insulated, which was hilarious, which I think I've got pictures of. Yes. So, in the midst of all this, we had our loft finally insulated with spray foam insulation, because although we started building this house like 12 years ago, and we've been living in it for 8 years, that's my signature. Is that all the pictures I took? So many pictures. So we hadn't actually got it insulated, which was going to cost us quite a lot this year if we didn't get it done. So yeah, quick copy that. You get a free signature with every Carrack, because it's on it's on the thing. Yeah, I was going to say that would be a misleading advert. I mean, a good price for a 20-foot used to be about $2,000. Interestingly, you used to be able to get a 40-foot for about the same amount of money, which sounds ridiculous, but most people don't have anything to do with a 40-foot container. They're too big, so you could get like a 40-foot for like two and a half. But obviously, it's transport as well. You can pay as much in transport to have it brought to you and put onto site. So yeah, containers aren't cheap, but I mean, for dry storage, secure storage, they are really cheap. So that's cool. So back to the Carrack. So we've got Expedition, we've got its windows. So these are all the red tinted stuff, and then we've got the normal, which has got its blue tinted stuff. The red tint's a lot darker because it is actually, it's a more prevalent tint, a lot more prevalent tint on the Expedition. Yeah, it's always a single, and you don't. This is the thing. I'm not necessarily saying I want a one-trip container, but they need to be good quality to be able to put stuff in it, furniture in it, and leave it for 3 years. Because I mean, sometimes we've got furniture that we've not put out to do stuff with for years, but I wouldn't want to get rid of it because it's still valuable. We'll still either reuse it or rehire it at some point or sell it at some point. But you just want to store massive amounts of stuff. So, funny story with this thing. This is for the bright, luminous Carrack. The Halloweeny one. This was a complete fuck up. So we tried to tint the resin red with red dye, and it turned out this dye just made it go carrot orange. I mean, this is like highlighter, glow in the dark orange, which was a waste of 250 quid's worth of resin. Whoopsies. So I've been using this bright orange stuff for printing like test prints and stuff. Can we have them, please? Yeah, no, we'll give these away. I ended up printing like I think there's 6 of them because there were 6 on our platform, so we can give these away at some point. I don't have an orange canopy to match, unfortunately, but I suppose we could do an orange canopy to match on the stream because I can mix up orange resin for a canopy really easy. So I do need to do the yellow one as well. I do want to do the yellow one. Do you remember a Halloween Carrack? For science! Yeah, sold. Oh, excellent. Take an orange set. Brilliant. We'll flog him out then. And I've got plenty more orange resin, annoyingly. But yeah, so we'll perhaps do some orange canopies and stuff and do them as giveaways. We wouldn't. So interesting. We might be able to sell them. I don't think we'll be able to sell them because obviously they don't correspond to anything in Star Citizen. But we could certainly do some on the stream and give them away. So these are trash because yeah, they're not good enough for the actual kit. So we've got the red, we've got the blue, we've got the luminous bloody orange. But I don't hate it for a concierge character. Yeah, no, it'd be quite good. I say we're going to do the goldy yellow one for the International Expo Carrack, and we'll do that as a diorama at some point. So if you do want to paint your Carrack in International Expo colours, sort of, yeah, don't worry. The canopy goes in with magnets, so you'll be able to swap the canopy out when we've done the canopy, and just don't put the window glass in. You can put the window glass in as you look through the instructions right at the end. So you can still put it together and paint it, just don't put the glass in, and just wait for the yellow glass. So yes, best in show edition. But yeah, no. So oh yeah, we could do it with J-Rex. Yeah, we can sell it with J-Rex. Potentially, or we could just yeah, give some away to people I like. Only 2 people have asked for them, and I've got 6, so we're good so far. First come, first serve. It's just, people can put in chat that they want an orange set of Carrack windows, and if loads of people want them, I'll just print another set because I've got a fuck ton of bright orange resin now. Rising. Oh, excellent. Right. Orange window, please. There we go. Is that all of them now? I've also been sick as a dog this last 2 weeks. Just nothing serious like COVID or anything, just a stinking cold. I think it's just there's lots of colds going around at the moment. But yeah, so all good. So Carrack is well. You have made a grave mistake offering free things. Yeah, maybe. So yeah, so it's Carrack's all good. My non-gamer is nice. Nice. Borange. So yeah, I say that's hello Nougatine, how are you? That's kind of like our sort of like main news for this week. I say it's been entirely doing this job for down in the UK, down in London. So we should probably do some stuffs. What have we still got to do? Well, from the Carrack point of view, there's a couple of website pages that still need done. We haven't had time to do a kind of promo-y page for you guys to jump up and scream and shout about. I guess we could do that right now. Why not? We're here. We're making things. Websites count as making, right? I'm going to go with yes. To be honest, I'm going to go with yes. Right, so if I go into, let me just move away from that page. To online store. I don't really care that you all see the back end of our store, it doesn't really matter. There's no hidden secrets. You've all seen our website before. Now, there was a page tucked away somewhere that... Oh, this has changed. I don't like change. Don't like change. We did have a... Did I delete it? I bet I deleted it. Okay, we'll have to start a new page. What's the price point on the Carrack? I can show you, because the Carrack does actually have an existence on the website now. Let me not confuse myself and actually go to the actual website. So we have the Carrack Expedition and the Carrack both at £150 plus taxes and shipping and all the things. So yes, they're both the same price. I mean, they are relatively the same kit. The only thing that really differs on them is the glass, colours, and the sleeve and the instruction booklet's completely different. I mean, it's the same instructions, but all the lore is different, all the pictures are different, all that kind of stuff. Oh, thank you, Unical, beating me to it. So they are as different as we could make them, given that they are exceedingly similar ships, but they are two separate ships in Star Citizen, so we did two separate kits of them. You are welcome. Give us more money. No, yes, give us more money. So yes, so that's cool. So there is, they are live on the website now, on sale 24th of October on the button, so you can't actually buy them yet, but that will all come live next week in exactly 7 days, 13 minutes, and 3 seconds time. So what I wanted to do, we used to have a page that was for when we were promoting the cyclones. So I thought I might have kept it, but I haven't. So let's make a new page. Because I can't see one there. Don't know where else it would be. No, right. How do I make it? I really hate Shopify. Shopify's e-commerce backend is really good. It integrates really well with logistics companies. It's great for selling around the world. Deals with all the taxes and stuff for you, which is really complicated when you're exporting from the UK. So I wouldn't change it for the world from the e-commerce backend. But yeah, its website building side is fucking awful. It really is. Spell the links. So the only difference is the color of the canopy and the glass. So we have basically all the glass, all the windows and stuff on the Carrack are actually translucent, so that you could light inside and it would glow the right color. So all the glass sections are different colors to the kits, and the canopy is a different color. The actual kit, that is the only difference. Because even if, I mean, currently, as far as I'm aware, there aren't actually physical differences inside the Carrack either. There might be in the future when they do a gold pass, do a difference between the expedition and the standard. We don't know, but for our kit at this point, that is the only difference. So you may ask, why did we bother? We kind of had a rule to ourselves that if there were separate ships in game, we'd do a separate kit model of them. So like when we do like the Hercules, we'll do the C2M2 A2 as separate, because they are separate, and there are very slight differences between those. I mean, there are some ships where there are differences in them, but you will never see those differences at 1 to 500, and a lot of those are covered by the dioramas. So, for example, we will do the Reliant as a diorama. It will be an unspecified Reliant, because at that scale, we will just include all the little like ends for the wings, and that's the only real difference other than the paint scheme at that scale, because you're not dealing with the internals of the ship, you're not doing all that kind of shit. So, but if we did it as a 1 to 100, they would be all separate. There would be kit model and it'd be separate kits, because then you'd see all the difference, because the internals would be done, etc., etc., etc. So, it's important to sort of have that sort of like definition between kit models and diorama kits. But yeah, we have done both Carracks. The other advantage of it for us, it does mean we're making 1,000 Carracks, because we're making 500 of each, which I suppose may be a fantastic thing in the long run, because Carrack's popular model, it gives us twice as many to actually manufacture and sell. So I suppose that's a handy thing too. But yeah, it was just one of those decisions that once we'd realised that we were going to die the resin to do the canopy. It was like, right, so we either need to put both colors in the kit, and then it's a Carrack expedition, which is like, it is 2 different ships in game. Is it worth just doing 2 sets of artwork? Effectively, is what we've ended up doing, and we decided yes, it was. So that is why we don't expect anyone or many people other than the absolute OGs that are just, you know, are absolute insane, amazing backers to get both because they want everything. There may be some massive Carrack fans that have both Carracks and, you know, want both Carracks, you know. So, but I imagine the vast majority of normal Carrack fans of this model will just pick the one that they fly in game, because you're going to have one or the other in game, so they're the same price. You might as well just buy the one that you actually fly. And I suppose if you then done the best in show, you could do the best in show to either of them, I assume. Minty Fizz, that's what anyone could take able to point me in the direction of someone who can be commissioned to build and paint a spaceship shaped thing. Yes, so both our painters that we use, Brett and Lubrical, have done commission paint jobs for people. So if you want to get in contact with either of them, they are in our JRDF server, !Discord in chat. Although, was that broken? Is exclamation point Discord and chat broken? I don't know. Someone will find out in a moment. And if it is, Westbrook Drew or Rye or Darj will throw in the right link because they're all amazing. And basically that they are in there. Lubrical, and I think he's in as Thenon in our Discord. No need to. Excellent. But it's Urban Shop. So yeah. So if you are in the Discord, I shall point to who you need to look for. Helps if you can see my screen. So you're looking for in. Let's go for in the hangar. Minty Fizz. Hi. I think he's in as Thenon. Oh, he might be. He might have actually changed it to Brett. Or he's given up on us and left entirely. One moment. Where's he hiding? Or have I got his name completely wrong? Does it just not let me do it? Oh, while we're passing him, Lupercal, so this man up here, Llupercal is one of our painters. And what's he changed his blooming name to? One moment. Let me just see what he's changed his name to. It's easier to find him in our other server. Oh, it might be under Nightly Gaming. Right, it might be under Nightly Gaming. 1 second. So Brett owns a model shop. So he may have changed his Discord handle to Nightly Gaming. He has. There we go. So what I'll do is I will stick a message in to both of those people who will be alerted to your needs. Smap, awesome. That's less than expected. Really? Cool. Yeah, no, it's one. It's 1 to 500 model. It is the longest model we've done. I can't quite work out if it's the biggest model we've done or not. I think it is the biggest model we've done. Big means size, which obviously the Cyclones are wider and taller and have big wheels and lots of character models.
All adds up, doesn't it, JR? The arguing, the craziness, the fact that you're a massive dickhead.
All for the game, 1285. Thank you so much. Thank you. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. You legend. And we get to hear one of my alerts we don't get to hear very often. Those sounds, I know. They still make me laugh. But yeah, no, I say we price our stuff as sort of like as best we can.
JR might be a dickhead, but apparently he's got some great friends.
Von Cody Schweiss, thank you for the sub. Thank you. So 2 months in a row. Thank you very much. Doubly thank you. We try and price our models as best we can. The expensive bits on the Carrack were obviously doing these hand cast canopies with the bridge sections cast inside them and all that kind of stuff. That was probably the sort of big expense, and there's like 36 quid worth of resin, at least like pure resin in it before you even started before you actually even started printing anything. It is a big print cycle. The things in the cyclones that cost all the money, or the extra money, there was quite a bit of rubber used, the 3D printed rubber, which is really expensive. There's also a lot more tough resin, tough 2000 resin in the cyclone models, and that's like 180 quid a litre. So again, more expensive materials went into the cyclone, so it makes them on balance they're about the same. The thing that tipped the Carrack a little bit more expensive was the casting, but yeah, other than that, and the fact that its instruction booklet is a 38-page, and this is the cool thing, actually properly bound, like heat bound book this time, not a stapled one, because it's too big for a stapled one. But it looks really cool, really cool. Yeah. So what's Darge thrown in? He's usually good. He doesn't usually throw porn in. Oh, excellent. Darge has started a Reddit thread. Excellent. Thank you very much, you legend. Everyone, please go on that and spam the crap out of that. That would be awesome. Thank you very much. So yeah, no, it is a big page book. There's a lot of cool art in it. You haven't got them in yet. I have got them. They're in a van. I could go and get them. It would require you to entertain yourselves for a few minutes. Feel free to vote in chat whether you want me to go and get the instruction booklets, because I will genuinely just run down and get them now, but I've got to open the tail lift and grab them out. But right, okay. I don't have any like lift music, so yeah, you just have to stay there and just talk in chat. Let's do it, and go. I'm back. Right. Okay. I'm glad Cal's gave you a running commentary there. So I've got one better than actually just the just getting the box of artwork. I've actually got a sample promo set. So if I do that, break everything, and then do that. Have a bit of an unboxing. Misery 1. So the 100i model is next? Oh, is it? Oh, that's good to know. Well, technically the Carrack model's next, from a point of view of what is actually out to all you lovely people. So we'll start with the Carrack. So, one anvil Carrack model. Let's go even wider. There we go. See how ridiculously messy my desk is. Right, so one anvil Carrack box. The sides and the back. Look at all the beautiful artwork. I'm going to just sort of tilt that so that isn't, so you can see there's a nice moon with its snowy peaks. Carrack, these are all done by either Captain Raoul or Haskahar or VMX. Had he done any of the? I can't remember now. So chunky looking. Yeah, so this is the same size box as the Freelancer Max and the Cyclones. So we have two size boxes of kits at the moment. We have the little ones, which are like the Arrow and stuff, and then the big ones, which are big models. So far, that's the two Cyclones, and the Freelancer Max are the only ones that are in the big boxes at the moment. DRDF, obviously the first 10 people who successfully order the Carrack and the Exhibition will get their personalised names later onto this. We open her up and we foresee our translucent envelope of goodness. So in the translucent envelope of goodness, there is the Carrack certificate of authenticity. This one says promo on it because this is one of the packs that goes to Cloud Imperium Games. We have a teeny tiny decal sheet. It's a teeny tiny decal sheet. And this bad boy. So this, I mean, because my camera's that way around. This is a proper heat-bound 38-page brochure of prettiness. Isn't it lovely? These beautiful centerfolds. And we'll eliminate one. Just shave the box. Be fine. That'd be a great one to do a huge build of, wasn't it? And yeah, so these have come out really nice. Really liking the artwork. And and they're just they're proper. Probably there's a few things that will change like going forward on these because I do definitely want to get them all. This type of book done going forward. They're a little bit more expensive. I think they work out at like 40p more in the grand scheme of things because we had over 1,000 of these made, obviously, for this. And yeah, I want it just for the booklet. Yeah, it is a lovely thing, and credits to all our amazing team. All people have been involved in this and made in Britain. So it is a lovely booklet. Let's just put that in there. Yeah, just trying to get the Liberator itself for this one. I love that ship. It's I've not bought one. It's not the sort of ship I want in game, but I love the concept, and I am looking forward to a model of it. I hope it comes into game at a nice opportunity with a CitizenCon or something. So we've got our thank you for your support foam. Then we've got the first layer of goodness, the anvil. But yeah. So Dodge, that's probably the only thing we will. Obviously, we'll send you one, and we might just need to put a little bit more bleed on it, but it's fine for this one. It's perfect. It's lovely. Just future learning. An MSR. Oh, I know nothing about an MSR. No, we know nothing. So the MSR is one of the next models we're in the process of doing. So the MSR is 1 to 500, so it goes with the Carrack, and is one of our very large diorama. I think it's not a full kit. We could do a 1 to 200 kit of an MSR, but it would be 3 or 4 times the size of this Carrack model and be redonkulous. But yes, we are in the process currently of doing the 1 to 5. So this is the first test print of how we're going to split it up and everything. So this is very Dutch print at the moment. But yeah, so the MSR is work in progress. You can lift down there. So in here we have the Carrack stick, which you put a magnet in one end, and you use this end to put all the window pieces in. So this is a really kind of like useful thing. You get 50 3mm by 1mm magnets and 10 5mm by 2mm magnets. You have lots of little things, all the engines, the glass. This is obviously normal Carrack, so all that. I don't know if I can take. Can I? Well, I'm now obviously I'll just take everything out. It's fine. We won't bother doing this with the other box because let me just do this. So this little stand here isn't for the Carrack, it's for the Pisces, because there is a print with Pisces on, and one of them's in flight, so you need a separate little base for that. So all the magnets. So that's the canopy. So it's still a bit quite reflective in the light, but that's had its coating on, so you can see all the seats inside and everything, looking lush. So then we'll just take this bit of foam out in the middle, then we'll see all the underside. And so again, gives you a bit of an idea of the size of the MSR against the Carrack. But yeah, so like just pick a print at random. Let's pick you out. So that's all the cargo pods. So you've got 3 cargo pods. You've got a sort of like replacement cargo pod for the stand for the Carrack, and this is a cargo pod that's actually been deployed and opened. Is that the same? No, is that the same scale? No, it is the same scale. It's all 1 to 500. So an MSR is 1 Carrack arse big. That's what we've worked an MSR out to be. But yeah, so no, that is definitively both the same scale. I'll just lift the Carrack's tail end out. So yeah, side by side, that is an MSR to the back end of a Carrack. So the MSR is still a pretty big ship. It's much bigger than like a. I've got a cutlass here, or bits of a cutlass. So that's the body of a Cutlass Black versus an MSR. So the MSR is the MSR is a big girl, but the Carrack is huge. Carrack's a big ship. Carrack is a proper big ship. Right, let me just put this back in. So I can't see it because I'm putting it in an angle. Right, let's put on. So that's all the Carrack bits. That's the Carrack stand and everything in there. So it's a relatively full box, not crammed full. So it's just a nice pack. It's quite an easy one for us to pack because I have put lots and lots on each print. So that one's got like 4 turrets, the Ursa Rover and the 2 Pisces. So it's quite nice from our point of view, it's not quite as many ones to put in, and they all go in quite. That's fun to unbox. Yeah. 503 bits. I think it is quite a nice one to unbox. Actually, it's nice in that we've had room for the logo in it, which is quite fun. Make sure I get everything back in. Just need back. So that's one of the bags of magnets. That's all the teeny magnets. Why is he laughing? We're serious. Yeah, no, I know you are. It's not going to help you. Gotta wait. 6 days, 23 hours, 46 minutes, and some seconds. Sorry. So that's everything back in there. Let's make sure we're not missing anything. Thank you for your support. Top. Envelope in. And there we go. So that's the Carrack. One Carrack Anvil Aerospace Carrack 1 to 500 kit model. So let's just have a quick gander at the other one. I'll put that on the laser. So oddly enough, it comes in the same size box. So if I had to pick a favorite between them, I think this is probably my favorite for the kit. Greg, oh shit, they're finally coming out. Yeah, they are finally coming out. Sorry. I know it's been a while. It really has. So this is the expedition version. Obviously, different kits, different artwork on it. I love the green on the side. So one of the reasons that we put this extra bit of artwork on the side of all our kits is to make them look cooler. We used to just have like an Anvil logo or a Misc logo on it, and then when we built the shelves through in the other room and put all the kits on it, we realized, oh shit, you can't tell what the kit is because it's not written on the side. So we've put a different picture on the side of each box. A, to make them look nicer, but B, just so me and Cals can pick the kits out more easily because there's a definitive difference between the boxes. So that's the main reason why they're different on the side. We have the beautiful white Carrack coming through atmosphere there, and then the beautiful picture of it pink and in the clouds of Horizon on the side. Take the sleeve off. Go over there, stay. Same as before, lasered top. And then we've got our envelope inside with our instructions. So again, I mean, it's effectively the same instruction manual, I'm not going to lie. Again, beautifully, properly bound this time, but all the artwork is different. This one is called the Nellie Bly, and there's a bit of a bump about why we've named her the Nellie Bly. Then you sort of get into the instructions proper. So it's worth looking at. I'm not going to take the other one out. So this has a sort of Darsh did all this. So he'll be able to tell you much more about it. But the difference, this is a whiter background. Everything is different about it. I say if it's worth buying it just for the book, well, it's definitely worth buying both because the books are different. But I mean, the majority of this instruction is how to put the magnets in, because there's 60 magnets all told, and that's what's holding this thing together. But the artwork is beautiful. I mean, the Carrack is beautiful, the game is beautiful, and people like Haskahar and Captain Raoul are amazing at extracting them and making them look gorgeous. So, but we've come a long way. We have come a long way with our instructions since the days of the Grey Cat PTV, where I just included an A5 home inkjet printed set of like 6 instructions of how to glue it together. This is streets beyond that, absolutely streets beyond that. And it's just when I thought it couldn't get any better, having them properly heat bound and stuff has made it better. It's also made it a little bit easier for us going forward, because when you have something stapled, the number of pages has to be divisible by 4, because obviously it's a stack of pages and a staple through. When it's heat bound, then you have to be divisible by 2, because they put individual sheets into the heat bound. So it does make it a little bit more flexible from that point of view, because obviously Darge gets a lot of this stuff done before I finished the model from a breakdown point of view, so I don't know how many instruction steps there's going to be. He's kind of waiting on me for that, but yeah, the art, the center spreads and stuff on this are absolutely gorgeous, and I do think that these books, not putting ideas into people's heads, I do think these would make amazing books as signature books at the events for getting people to sign, and yeah, that's cool. You may have answered this already. Is the difference between the two? Yes. So we've done. Actually, have them here because we have literally just been discussing them. Indeed. So there is. These haven't been coated yet. So they're still very opaque. But yes, they've got the bits cast inside, and these are the red and the blue. Obviously, you get the different types. I should have a coated one in here. So you're getting the canopy, obviously the red canopy with the expedition, and the red glass to put on the inside. Basically, hand on heart, that is the only difference between the kit. The actual pieces themselves, those two pieces, that's the only difference. Blue set with the Carrack, red set with the Carrack Expedition. That's it. So if you are looking just to get the Carrack model, just get the one that you want. If you're being a collectionist and a completionist, you have to get both. But it's but yeah, that's genuinely the only difference is all the other pieces, the diorama bits with it, all the same. We have a sort of general rule, Gankin, about if it's a separate ship in game, technically a separate ship in game, different SKU, we'll do a separate kit model of it. And the Carrack's been one of those ones that the Carrack Expedition may end up being more different than the Carrack in future passes and Gold Pass and stuff, but at the moment they're basically the same ship. But that's kind of our rule that we've set ourselves, so we'd stick with it for this one. And yes, so the only other difference other than those pieces is the artwork. But yeah, I'd say, and from a production point of view, it's because they're the only different pieces. It's actually the same print, but with a different colored resin in it. It's the same cast, it's the same molds, same casting we're doing for the canopies. It's just a different tint in the resin. And the only other expense we've had to do to be able to do both of them as separate kits is do the artwork differently. So we've paid for twice as much for the artwork, effectively. Even the cards are different. The expedition has a different certificate of authenticity, all hand signed, obviously, and stuff. So they're the only differences. So a relatively cheap way of us making it into two products and keeping our sort of general rule of rule of thumb of if it's a separate shipping game, we'll do a separate kit. It was a relatively easy one to do. So that's why we've done it. So that's cool. So that is the Carrack ready to go. So that's cool. So I say we would have put it on sale today. Genuinely, that was the plan to put it on sale today. It's just we've been at this event down in London for the whole week, and we had to build it last week. So it just made it an impossibility to get all the Carracks boxed up, and the last one's printed because the printers haven't been running because we haven't been here. So we've sort of lost a week's worth of printing of the fuselage sections because we weren't here. There's still time. There's none to post. But yeah. So we had to sort of put it back for weeks. We lost a week of printing. Jeff, make editor. Maybe an editor so I can make the hard split. Yes. No. Absolutely. How do I do that? Tell me how to do that. Like an editor in Twitch. Yeah. Ping me a message and tell me how to do that. So yeah, so Carrack is good. Where are we with the MSR? Exactly, literally exactly where we were last time. To the absolute second where we were last time because I've done nothing. I don't know. Cool, we'll do that. You can do my website as well while you're there. Just while you're there, way down there. So next stage for the MSR? The MSR needs to be my focus now. So I will be doing more MSR this week while I'm getting the Carrack stuff sorted. And getting stuff ready to go to the new workshop and try and find a forklift. I'm trying to finding a forklift is being a complete ball ache. It's like everything in the logistics sector at the moment. Everything's in short supply. Secondhand stuff's in short supply, and the cost of actually getting stuff moved about is so expensive. So I'm trying to find one not too far away from me because forklifts are heavy. I want a counterbalance forklift. I kind of want a 3.5 tonner or bigger, so like 3 ton minimum up to a 5 ton is the kind of window I want to go for. So that they themselves weigh about 7 ton minimum. So it's something that you have to have trucked on a big lorry. And because it's the UK, most of this stuff is down south, so it's like a 500-mile there and back trip for a truck driver to bring me a forklift. So that'll be thousands of pounds. So I'd need to try and find one more locally. I don't want one that's too much of a wreck. I'm quite happy to do a bit of maintenance on it and get it up and shiny and repaint it and stuff because I've got a spray booth. But I want it to be mechanically sound. But yeah, I do want a heavier one than we used to have at my old job, because it's really handy so that I can get full pallets of wood delivered and actually load them into the shelves lengthways. So I'll have fork extend like 8-foot forks for it, extenders, so that I can pick things up lengthwise. And if you try and do that with a 1.8 or 2 tonner, it just falls over. So I really do want a 3 to 5 ton forklift. So trying to find one of those, with not a lot of luck at the moment. Need to sort out my racking shelves. Again, so little secondhand pallet racking, so I'm probably going to have to get new stuff. It's, I have not tried bricks. I will try bricks. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's like everything else. The second-hand racking is really hard to get hold of at the moment because all the supply chains are being swamped, so they're all getting, so it's one of those things. So I might have to get new racking. And have I tried MOD auctions? Yeah, in the past I have as well. They're very dangerous places. They're very dangerous places. Yes, I have been looking at them as well. This is the thing. I don't know. I can't. Well, no. So, Captain, so the MOD sells so much X stock off, and it tends to be quite old stuff, but usually it's been surplus. So it's like JCBs from the 80s with like 0 hours on them. A lot gets exported abroad. They're not cheap. It's not a cheap place to buy stuff, but they do have a lot of stock of like the same bit of equipment when they put it out. Like LM Jackson's. A place I've been to before to buy XMOD stuff, and yeah, they are absolutely brilliant. But yeah, well, I'm going to repaint ours. I'm going to put it in the booth, and no matter what, I get it, even if it's I wouldn't be able. I can't afford a brand new one. But I just make it for. Oh right, yeah, yes. I suppose for actual. I imagine they would have some for sending abroad, like as part of like the deployment equipment that they might have in surplus here. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, no, it just just build the power suit from Aliens. Not actually very useful, believe it. The power suit from Aliens is pointless. I mean, it's an amazing bit of sci-fi, but what is the use of it? It can't lift very high. It can't lift very much because it's not really counterbalanced. It's slow. It is literally the worst way of loading something. A forklift would have been so much better than the power loader. Wouldn't have been as cool, but a decent forklift would have been better. But yeah, but sci-fi. No, I know, absolutely. The thing was, so it could walk around the perfectly flat deck. It's like, wait a minute. It's like I could understand if it was going more off piste, bit of off terrain walking around. It's like, no, we're only going to use it in a perfectly flat room, where wheels would have been brilliant. So yes, power load is rubbish and entirely pointless. But these telehandlers, yeah, oh, do they? Well, I mean, telehandlers are amazing. They are huge, though. It's like we borrow the telehandler with like, I'll need to borrow the telehandler to move the CNC stuff. They're great because they can get up my drive and go off road and lift an enormous amount, but they are so big. They are an annoying thing inside a building. I have tried to unload a truck at an event once with a telehandler, and it was nigh impossible because by the time you got it in place, you had nowhere to reverse it to because you were in the whole building. They are a pain in the tits. But yeah, decent forklift. Need a decent forklift. We'll paint it a cool color. We'll do a project yeah, we'll do a project on that, so that'll be quite fun. Some of you guys may have seen a tweet that went out. Let's see if I can find it. So there was a tweet put out by the Lynch brothers. We should probably just quickly touch on that because I know some of you are aware of it and may be interested onto what occurred. So David T. Lynch, this gentleman here, who is a writer of Final Score, directors of the Lynch brothers. There's two of them, Trial and Zero, which are on Dust. They're really cool. Short sci-fi films, and have done other things. I'm sure they'll have they even have a website. Here we go. I haven't been on the website. I've been on their IMDb page. But yeah, so they've done some short films and been involved in some big films as well. They put a tweet out last week while we were at EGX. Actually, we were about to come back from EGX, and basically someone putting out film and TV people. We're looking for recommendations for UK-based model makers with experience in and a passion for airplane spacecraft modeling. Retweet and tag if you know someone. There were 22 responses, and 4 of them mentioned us. So thank you so much to all those people who responded back and suggested us. People like Xeno Systems and Engineer, who's one who forwarded it onto us. And yeah, there's several other people that pointed us out for this. And we had a meeting with them last Friday. So it's still early days in their project. It's a new film they're doing. Not going to say anything about it at this point, but we are in discussions with them about partnering up with them to do model work for them, model design work for them, and potentially some set design as well. And I'd love to do some set building. The new workshop may be big enough to do some of the set pieces that are going to need for this one. So, but I say we're very early days, not getting too excited over it yet. But it was just really, really nice that so many of you guys saw it and threw our name in, and that they were impressed with what we'd done, and affiliated models. Yeah, well, that is very true. But yeah, so it'd be that would be an awesome project for us to get our teeth into. It probably won't be a very profitable one. Because they are it is small scale movie making stuff, but it is something that we've never really done before. So it'll be very much a case of, and the stuff they want to do with the models is stuff they haven't done before. So it will be a nice project as long as we cover our costs with them to kind of work with them on, because it would get us into the sort of film and TV industry a little bit more with the model work side. I've done set building and stuff before for TV and stuff, but never really kind of like sci-fi model stuff, never any sci-fi type sets. So there's a lot of crossover what we've done and what we've planned to do in the past. So that'll be amazing. So there's that. We went to EGX, met up with TikTok and people, so we're going to be talking to them. So that's quite interesting. So that'll be quite another good company to go after. We've also decided, unless sort of things start kicking off in other directions, we haven't got time, to do a project not for Apex Legends, but an Apex Legends project, if that makes any kind of sense. Basically, I want to do a new build to push a few things that we've been working on and that I'm not confident enough to do for a client at this point. So things like the GSS unit were very much I wouldn't have agreed to do that for a client at that time because I didn't know whether I could do it or not. I knew how I thought I could do it, but I'd never done anything like it before, so I did it for myself to kind of prove it. And we're now at the stage where we feel that we need to do another one of those projects because during COVID, during all the time we've done stuff for Cloud Imperium, we've brought a lot of new skills to the company, and we've messed about with stuff with sort of physical movements. Obviously, the Covalex unit is probably obviously that will get finished first, but that's that has the touchscreen and the Pi inside and the driven door and all that kind of stuff. And it's like that kind of mechatronic thing because my degree is actually in electrical mechanical engineering, so I do kind of wanted to go down the route of doing some more movement in some of the model work we do. Yeah, pushing the envelope, and just we know we can do it. We just kind of need to do it without the time pressure of an event because there's so many new skills to to make sure that we've got buttoned down. James, the Stormtrooper, is doing some amazing work on the new Covalex unit software. But at the end of the day, people like James are just incredibly mad people who do this voluntarily for us, and with they are incredible people and absolutely knock it out of the park for us. But at the end of the day, they're also very busy human beings with very important jobs to do to earn their money because they're doing this as as a passion project for us. So it's difficult to be able to go after clients and stuff and do these huge builds without with having all those sort of factors involved as well, because completely out of their control, they may end up not being able to do stuff in one particular week where we need stuff done for a particular event for a client. So doing these projects like the Covalex unit and this Apex Legends project it takes that actual like eventy type time constraint. We will give ourselves time constraints and a window to get the thing built, but to actually get it completely working and all that kind of stuff, we no client is going to yell at us if we don't get it done by Christmas. Do you know what I mean? So we want to get it done by Christmas. It's kind of the first big project for the workshop. And that's the other thing. It's also going to be a project in setting the workshop up for doing a build, because it's that whole thing. And again, because it's a build for us, I'll explain what we'll do with it when we finish with it. But it's a build to get the workshop squared how it needs to be for us to build something big again. Like, it'll probably one of the biggest things we've ever built, interestingly, and it's certainly be the most complicated thing we've ever built. And to be able to go at this project and not have the worry about kind of it going terribly wrong, because if it does go entirely wrong and nothing works on it, it's like, well, that was just a waste of a bit of money and a lot of time, but no one's yelling and screaming at us or suing us or something daft like that. So that's where that's sort of where we are with that. I'll just quickly show you it. So I wanted to find I'm not an Apex Legends fan, cannot stand it. I've tried to watch it, but I just can't. It's just no. You're not gonna let me open it. I had a picture of you. Where have you gone? Where have you gone? A reference picture. 1 second. I wanted something that, interestingly, I wasn't into. So it's amazing doing stuff for Star Citizen. Fucking love doing stuff for Star Citizen. Do not take this as I hate doing stuff for things I enjoy, because nothing can be further from the truth. But saying that, it is also nice to go after things that are why don't I have any reference pictures of it? It's bizarre. I just have to it's not too difficult to find pictures of it, if I'm honest. This thing. So, oh, really? I am a human. Oh, fuck off. A robot would know what a boat is. Is it a ship or is it a boat? That's the question. Now it's fracked on my screen. I hate capture. Half the things are missing at the bottom, so I can't tell. Oh, it's just entirely screwed up, isn't it? There we go. Oh my god. Right, so this is the Apex Legends drop pod. And I wanted to do this. Yeah, I am a bot. I wanted to do this because I don't like Apex Legends. I do quite like Respawn's art style. I've talked to the guy who designed this on LinkedIn, just to kind of touch base with him, let him know what we're doing. And this is one of those things where I really like the asset. I really like it's one of those things that all the players who play Apex interact with because it's a general supplies drop pod, so all players are using it. It's not something that's going to get updated and tweaked and stuff because it's not part of like the sort of core game like fiddly bits, the characters and the weapons and all that kind of stuff. So it's a bit of a staple of the game. It's also a perfect size for what we want to do, because what we want to do is really show off where JRDF has come to and do a little bit of a project where we take one asset, so this asset, these reference drawings, and go, right, what can JRDF do with that model? So we go, right, okay, well, first of all, we don't have a model. We just have these reference photos. So first thing was James went in and got me a model. So we extracted it from the game file. We didn't get it from the client or the dev. We got it from the game. So we extracted it ourselves, which is a really, really important thing for them too, because it means that they don't need to give us resources. We've then started redrawing it. So I'm in that phase at the moment. I've been tinkering with this for a few months, just on and off as a little bit of a hobby project. And the end goal, right, is to build this thing. So this is what it looks like in game. Is to build this thing 3 times. Once as about a 6-inch, so 1 to 16 model that's entirely prepped for injection molding. So turn this into a model that is broken down into injection moldable pieces and actually do all the injection molding design work and end up with a set of injection molding prototypes. Now, we don't have to injection mold something to make an injection molding prototype. We can actually print one, but I print the sprue with all the things on it, so you have a production prototype. So that's step 1. Step 2 is to create a 1 to 8 scale version of it, which will be about 14 inches tall. 1 to 8 to nice scale because Weta Workshop have started doing 1 to 8 Apex character models. So the idea is we're going to send one of these to them to try and sort of like get a contact with Weta Workshop, and just to show the kind of high-end, very expensive merch product. This will be cast resin, sort of initially 3D printed, mastered, and cast resin, beautifully painted, all the rest of it. And that would be a production prototype for a high-end merchandise product. And then the last thing, of course, because it's us, we'll build one full size, and it's the full size one that's the interesting one, because as a lump of, as a piece of furniture, it is massive. It's 3 meters tall and 9 feet wide or something. You know, I mean, it's 2875 or something like wide at its widest point, because it's sort of like it's triangularly symmetrical, which is also quite an interesting project. But it's one of those things that has a huge amount of mechanisms inside it. So the way this door opens and slides out and splits, and then the thing comes inside, and the thing presents the thing, but all those 3 together have to be able to fold back into the thing, and it's got flaps, and it's got all this sort of stuff, all of these re-entry flaps and all this sort of thing. The idea is to make all of that work. So work on stepper motors. In theory, it's going to have about 40 to 50 stepper motors inside it. James will be taking everything he's learned from the Covalex unit, running 1 stepper motor, and just massively upscaling it so we can program this thing. Because where I envisage this going this particular build is we will build it and then we will show it off to Respawn and the world and all this sort of stuff. But it's the perfect prop for sitting on their Gamescom stand. It's the perfect prop to go to their esports events and finals and things, because you could have it on stage and you could literally, as they're comparing out and the grand prizes, and it actually opens and the trophy and everything is inside it. Stack of money inside. I think the last Apex Legend thing was like $100,000 sort of a stack of money in it or something. But to have that drop pod and actually be able to radio control it and all that kind of stuff would be so that's the goal. So it's a huge build. It's a very, very definitely pushing the envelope of something we've done before. The actual build of it is not really as complicated as builds we've done before. It's not as intricate as the Dragonfly, for example. It's about the same size as the Dragonfly, I suppose, in weight and volume and stuff. The big thing with this is that it's all the working parts, all the mechanisms that have to work, and not only work, but work like they're supposed to. Like, they need to come and split like they do in the game. They need to do it in roughly the same amount of time if possible. I mean, it's so fast in the game, but just as fast as we can get away with. It has to do repeating cycles. It has to be safe. So all of that needs to be considered and made real. And then it also then has to be broken down to fit in a truck, because this is the other thing. In one piece, it does not fit in a lorry. It is too big. So there has to be some kind of split in it, and if it's buried into the ground a bit, you could take the orange lid bit off, and then it would just squeak into a shipping container. And that's the thing. This would probably fit in a British truck, but we have ridiculous sized trucks in the UK. I think the UK has the biggest trucks in the world, right? And I know that might sort of like, you're all going to go, no, they don't, no. Okay, we don't have road trains. We don't have like multiple wagons, truck. Well, we sort of do, but only two. So Australia and the US have like the really, really long trucks with lots and lots and lots of trailers. Our trailers aren't the longest in the world, because ours only go up to about 48 feet, I think. And I think the Americans have like 55s and 60. We can have longer if we want, but it's a non-standard. It might need an escort or something like that. But standard, I think we go to about 48. But it's the height. Our trucks are 16.5 foot high. Because we're lunacy in this country. We have double-decker buses and all this sort of stuff. We have really high vehicles. So you get a 48-foot trailer that's 16.5 foot high on small wheels. It is a double-deck truck inside. They are absolutely huge. So you would fit in one of those, because it would stand up in one of those, because you've got like an internal height of 4 meters effectively. The issue is you then can't take it to many places, because to go to Europe, that 4.8 height limit goes down to 4 meters. So all of a sudden you're only allowed small trucks over in the continent, same length as ours, but much shorter than our trucks. So yeah, it's awkward, because it would need to either go on its side, and I wouldn't want to have to tip it on an event. I'd want to keep it upright and just be able to forklift it out. So there's all of this to work out. But it's something we've been considering building. Certainly, we've already started work on the little models, concepting out the little models and getting the design work started. But now we've got the workshop, and we don't have anything booked in for the end of the year in the workshop at the moment. Hopefully, we're going to maybe do some stuff for the CIG's new office, maybe, but that's opening next year, so we're not quite sure when that kind of work may come. So in lieu of there being an event to build in the new workshop, this seems to be the perfect project to start with, because it's a big build. It's not going to be a hugely expensive build, because it's big, but it's a single thing. There's not that much wood in it. Do you know what I mean? It's like it's not a gargantuan physical build. It's just such a complicated build. So I think it's going to be a great one for us to try and get done before the end of the year. I don't think it will get done before the end of the year, because we also want to do a few kit models. But the workshop has to get busy, it has to get done, it has to get doing stuff, and I think this will be a great one to really get our heads into. I think the goal for the end of the year is to kind of have one side of it built with one side of its mechanisms, because it's exactly it's a 120-degree mirror. So there's 3 identical sides. So I think the first of goal will be building one side of it with its mechanism all working. And then in theory, if we've got that, it's just do it 2 more times and hope it all fits together when it sucks into the middle. And that seems to be one of the biggest issues at the moment. Just from I've canned it all out, all the mechanisms designed, and it's so difficult. It's literally crossing over itself inside. So you have to step them out and all this sort of stuff. And there'll be a lot of welding in it. There'll be a lot of sort of custom sort of rack and pinions that we'll need to make so that they kind of look like the ones in game, but are still going to work. We'll probably make it out of beryllium to start with. Because we can laser that, we can mill that. We will see if that's going to be strong enough. If not, we'll check that those parts work, and then we'll have them machined out of metal. That is one of the things I'd really like to get for the workshop at some point, maybe next year, maybe the year after, is an actual metalwork mill, so we can do a little bit more of that sort of physical stuff. We should be able to print some things, maybe, out of the Tough 2000 resin, as long as we're not getting too much of a kicking. Yeah, so that'd be good. You could get a lot of JF models inside. And yes, James, we did have Arrow models and Dragonfire models in the Covalex unit at CitizenCon. I'm really looking for, I mean, obviously the first thing to get done in this workshop is the Covalex unit. That is the first thing that's going to get finished. First step is going to put all the furniture we own together and kind of make a bit snap decisions on stuff. So is that getting repainted? Is that getting thrown in the bin or sold or back in storage as it is, or is it going to get something done to it first, or all the rest of it? Then the first project we're going to do is the Covalex unit, because now we've got all the space to do it. James is working on software, so we need to rip out the air ram and start putting the stepper in it, and hopefully get that ready, get it painted. Sold, you say? No, absolutely. So there is stuff that we know we're selling. So my old desk, the Covalex shipping desk, which has the PC built into the side of it and stuff, that is definitely getting repainted and sold. We've got 3 of our old crates that were never finished. We're probably going to keep one of them, but we might finish and sell the other 2. There's also some big bits of furniture that we've no idea what it's doing, like the actual stage desk from CitizenCon 2019. CIG still haven't decided whether they're keeping that going forward or whether we're building a new one or what's going on with that. We still have it, but they haven't made a decision yet about it. So that may get sold. I don't know what people would do with it because it's fucking huge. It's very cool, but it's absolutely massive. So yeah, so there's quite a few pieces that might get sold, because at the end of the day, we need the room. We can't store everything forever. I'm always willing to sell things if people give me the right price. I'd sell like the GSS unit if someone paid me enough for it. I love it, but it's still a huge bit of furniture that sits in the workshop getting dusty. What was my short thoughts on CitizenCon this year? Mr. Basalt, I enjoyed it. I guess my biggest complaint was there was no real keynote from Chris. I do like hearing from Chris. That was a bit of a disappointment. I will admit that. All the panels were interesting. I thankfully had Stephen the Geek sitting next to me. We were in his back garden in his bar watching it all on a massive projector screen, which was fucking brilliant. And thankfully he is a massive tech programmer guy, so he understood everything from that presentation and therefore could translate. The only thing I would have changed, so doing the bad points first, the only thing I would have changed was I would probably have mixed up the order a bit to maybe go alternate with the pretty things versus the really hard coding stuff. Having all that stuff at the end was hard. It was hard going. Excuse me, I almost sent it to you now because it's been a long day. Yeah, that was a bit hard. So that I still wanted to hear it all. There was nothing in it that wasn't interesting, but just like shaking it up a little bit with the ship team talk and all that kind of stuff, putting some of those things further towards the end, I think would have been great. One of my highlights, definitely the ship talk. I mean, really good friends with PJ and Ben, obviously, and we know John quite well. So so it's always great to hear from those guys. But yeah, that was obviously awesome. Really cool ships. Really cool ships. So that was nice. I think one of my highlights though were the community community videos, the shorts. I thought they were absolutely amazing, and I think it's. I really hope they keep that. I really hope they keep them. They were absolutely phenomenal. Loved them to bits. It was great to see Game Glass finally announced. We've known about Game Glass being going official for a good while now. That's been everything is a long pipeline, obviously, but seeing Game Glass go official, spot on. Good for you guys. They thoroughly deserve it. I think what they've done is amazing. And yeah, the Liberator was amazing. The Liberator is one of those ships. It goes on my list of ships I don't want to own, but I think is amazing, and amazing it's in the verse. I might change my mind when we kind of see what we can do with it. I think the thing with the Liberator is that it didn't speak to me as a player because it was very much highlighted for its combat role. But the more I think about it, it's like, actually, no, it also makes a fantastic mining platform for ground mining, for all of that kind of stuff. It's like, oh, actually, yeah, as a logistics platform, actually, a Liberator would be an amazing ship. As a platform for how many mining buggies are we going to get on it, and if we have a way of storing what they've mined in its cargo hold and all that kind of stuff, and then you've got scout ships on and all that kind of stuff. Fantastic. The Beamer was looking cool. Looking forward to that. That's obviously going to be a popular model. We kind of got the first look at how much bigger it's got, which I think is quite exciting. It definitely puts it. It's still in the realm of the 1 to 500 model. It's going to be a biggie, but it's still definitely a good one for that. Price was too steep. I can see that. At 195, is that all the Beamer is? I say all. That's quite a lot bigger than the Carrack, isn't it? But it is still smaller than the 890 lengthwise, but it's probably wider. I'm going to sneeze or cough. Either way. It does have a lot of volume. It's a very cool shape. Do like it. Yes, it's a great, it's going to be a great support ship. I absolutely agree. It's Paul Three Keys. Hello. Sadly, not that far from the end, but welcome nonetheless. And how are you? Hope you're good. It's going to be. I think it's going to be. Aaron Luke Marshall. Hello. You catch me very tired at the end of a very long week. For the second week in a row, I've started streaming slightly late because I literally walked through the door 15 minutes before we're due on air. We've had a good week though. We've went and done our first physical event post-COVID, like it's over, but since the pandemic, and it went really, really well. So we are over the moon with how well our first event back went, and it was just nice to get back out there, see friends. We're working with quite a few of the same guys that we worked with on CitizenCon actually. LEP and one of the AV companies was the same, and one of the guys that did the massive artwork prints of the all the ships on the corridor. They were doing a big wall there as well. So it's nice to catch up with those guys. Any plans for 400? Well, we have plans for every ship. Does that help? On a serious note, the 400i is probably my favorite Origin ship, just from a design point of view. I think out of all the ones to make a model of, it would be my first choice to make a model out of it. How big is it? Someone tell me how big it is. Because obviously we'll do it in 1 to 5. Darge, go find me information. It's in game, so DPS calculator will have it. The 100, so things like the 100 series have Minty Fizz 60 meters long. Thank you very much. The 100 series and the 600 and 300 and all this sort of stuff have never made it to the top of our list because of the issues with all the glass on them. Now we have our Carrack-approved canopy glass casting system in place now. It does open up a lot of these other ships that have a lot of glass that we were avoiding before. It does allow us to really come back and think about tackling them again, because we do have now the casting setup here, and we can expand so 56 long, 32 wide, 12 tall, and dagger shaped. Yeah, it's when I caught a glimpse of the beamer out of the corner of my eye. It's so Destiny. Destiny is still my favorite ship in all of science fiction. I would truly adore to find a decent 3D model of Destiny, and I would do a model of it. I would just do. Next queue price for the Carrack. Yes, so the Carrack Expedition model and the Carrack are both £150 plus shipping and any local taxes. So VAT in this country, obviously, and wherever you. Didn't the actors buy the rights to Stargate? No, they tried to. Stargate is now owned, yes, by Amazon. Because Amazon bought yes, SCU. So it's all owned. It was all owned by MGM. They refused to sell anything because the actors didn't want to buy it, and now Amazon have bought it MGM. So it's interesting because Stargate is starting to disappear from Hulu and all these other streaming services, which means that Amazon are actually now starting to do the actual integration. So hopefully we will see all of Stargate on Prime soon. So that's awesome. I can't get anything except Netflix. How come? Do you not have Amazon Prime? Always on repeat there. Yes, that's very true. I'm a huge Stargate fan. One of my regional restrictions. Do you not have like VPNs? Oh really? How bizarre. But yeah, so I mean, it's I'm massive. Oh, do they not? They've broke. Oh no, VPNs are broken. Oh no. Well, that sucks, Darge. Apologies. So do you not get Amazon Prime at all for like TV and stuff? It's a back to piracy. Yeah. Oh, I can't get Prime at all. Oh, that sucks. That's dreadful. I live on Prime and Disney Plus. What I would do without it. But yes, I can't wait for SG1 and all of Stargate. I will basically actually probably watch it all again, however many fucking hundreds of episodes it is. But I'm just a massive Stargate fan. When I make enough money to give myself a nice 3-month hobby project, we will be doing a full-size Stargate in the workshop. It will actually spin and make noises, and it will be linked to a fax machine line so that people can fax the work number and then put a special code in, and it will dial the gate. That is my plan. And we'll do it live on stream. So that's the other thing we need to consider. So the microphones that Ewan Carr and Leonard Rain amazingly paid for a couple of streams ago, they have arrived. They're sitting in a box downstairs. I have only just got back, so I haven't opened them yet. And they're somewhere. I would go and get them if I knew where they were. I think they're down at my mum's, and because she's been taking all our post, so I think she's probably got it actually. But I know I got a text saying it had been delivered. So that's cool. So we need to start thinking about the tech setup for the new workshop. So currently I'm dual PC streaming here. I will split these rigs out so that I've got my big rig still stays here, and I'll go back to single PC streaming from that for when we're doing streams from the lab. So this is now called the lab, just because I need to have different things in my head. And we will then start setting up the tech setup at the workshop. So point one, we have wireless mics, which is amazingly important. We have some cameras. We have enough cameras to get our initial setup going. We have a computer. I need to sort out internet, so it's going to all be done with 4G. We should have plenty of 4G. It's like 30 up there and like 60 down or something. So it's amazing 4G. We have I think we have some of the best 4G sort of around, just because we basically live next to the West Coast Main Line train line, and they use it for their internet on the trains. So they have a really high quality 4G repeaters all the way down, and no one using them. So we get really good bandwidth on them. And the other good news is they will be some of the first to get upgraded to 5G, because again, the West Coast Main Line is going to start using 5G from next year, so that you can get super fast internet in the trains. So we should get upgraded to 5G relatively soon. So if we do have any issues with streaming from the workshop, it will only be a temporary thing while we're waiting for our 5G towers to be put in. I'm not going to have fiber put to it because do I sound like absolutely like SG11? Oh, so that's the other thing I want to do. I've got a list of so many fucking things I want to do, guys. I want to have a boiler suit. I kind of want my workshop boiler suit. I want to do a copy of the Battlestar Galactica deck crew orange ones, so I can have a BSG thing to work in. Already 5G in your hometown. Yes. Yes, you would, because as Kingston put it in already. Oh no, it won't be Kingston. You still have the mobile providers, won't you? But yeah, no, it's 5G is going around. It's where it's in and about where we were in London this week. It was quite cool. It's very impressive. Very impressive. So yeah, so we will get 5G fairly soon anyway, so that's fine. The issue with the workshop is, well, it's actually not its issue; it's its advantage. It's a truck recovery place, so it's next to the motorway junction rather than actually in the village. So it's quite a way away. It's quite a way away from sort of like houses and stuff, which is great because we make as much noise as we like, but it's also quite a long way from the exchange, so it'll be a shit internet if we get wired. Have I seen the full-size Viper? Yes, I have. It's a hobby project, isn't it? It's the other thing. The Vipers are one of the few ships you can actually build full-size because they're not that big. The Battlestar Vipers are tiny. They're much smaller than, like, I think they're smaller than a Spitfire. Like even lengthwise, they are smaller than World War II planes. They are really small ships, compared to like modern fighters or Star Citizen fighters. The Vipers are really. His wife doesn't think that. Yeah, no, it's like, what the fuck are you building? This has gone too far. But yeah, no, they really are quite small ships for science fiction spaceships. But then I suppose they don't. That's kind of their point. They're supposed to be small and yeah, Mark II is 8.4 meters long. It's like not that much longer than a dragonfly. So but I suppose that's the whole point of them in a way. They're supposed to be very small, nimble, flip round, and because they launch from the battle stars, I guess they don't need huge fuel tanks either. Well, we know they don't have huge fuel tanks. They always have to refuel it when they were looking for people. So I suppose they are very much fast intercept fighters to be launched from a battle star. So I suppose they are deliberately not big and heavy and full of fuel. So yeah, but they are teeny tiny. Cool. Right. It is 9 o'clock. I should probably go and have some food. We did stop at a service station and get some sandwiches earlier today, but I am hungry. It was lovely seeing you all, chatting to you all. Glad everyone has had a good week. Glad you all, or hope you all enjoyed CitizenCon and playing the new patch this week. Send you pics on how to make me an editor. Okie dokie, I shall deal with that. And yeah, see you at the Carrack launch. It is that we will try and put a load of stuff out on social media this week. So please keep an eye out for stuff if you can, and retweet it all over the shop and push it around on Instagram and Facebook and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it is nice that we are finally at the final hurdle, which is awesome. So we shall throw a raid over to HG Vertigo. Say hi to him from us. yours. I'm going to go and grab some food, and I shall see you all next week. It's been a joy as always. Great to see you all. Glad we could stream, and yeah, have a fantastic one. See you later, guys.